Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekends with Triple IDH. In this series, Triple IDH students talk about life and academics at our institute. Today's session is third of the five sessions, and the theme is Fun of CSE at the rate Triple IDH. So I would request Aniruddha to start with the introductions.
My name is Aniruddha. I am a third year undergrad. I've just completed my third year undergraduate degree at CSC at IITH. Uh, so I am also an honor student working primarily with vision, robotics, and learning. Uh, I am I've entered college through the DASA mode of admission, and I've spent most of my life growing up in Kuwait. In India, I'm primarily from Chennai and Bangalore, and I can answer questions today in Tamil, Kannada, English. Uh, in addition to this, just a little bit more background about myself. Think starting out, uh, like yeah, getting might come as a bit of a surprise, but you know, uh, and I just want to, but I just think I should let you know about the story of me joining college and how it has affected me as well. So Triple IT, when I initially wanted to join, was not my first preference, right? My first preference was actually, in fact, NUS, and I did not get it. I was a little upset, definitely. But 3 years on, when I look back, I don't really feel bad about it at all, because I think the amount of exposure Triple IT has given me, both in terms of direct application of coding, right from the first year, or undergraduate research, is bar none in the world. And I think that's one of my favorite parts about Triple IT. It's got a great open culture and a great learning environment. In addition to this, just to let you all know, I also intend to pursue my master's right after this. And in college, I have been working, as I previously mentioned, with a prof, pursuing my honors degree as well, which I think again ties back to the research at young, right, research right from the undergraduate point that I mentioned previously. And I've also, very I've also got a paper published, and I think that sort of speaks volumes about, not that you don't just do anything trivial. You actually do something that is worthwhile.
So, hello everybody. This is Devesh Vijay Vargya. I'm a final year undergrad pursuing BTech in Computer Science from Triple ID Hyderabad, and I'm basically from Indore. Uh, so yeah, why I chose Triple ID Hyderabad is a pretty interesting story. So since my early teenage years, I had one thing in my mind that I wanted to study abroad at some point. So that's what I That's what I tried to do, and I planned on going abroad after my class 12. That is for my undergrad study. But due to a few circumstances, that plan got cancelled, and this happened pretty late in my class 12th. So I tried my best. I gave my best shot at JE, but I didn't do as good. So, after JEE, I wanted to get into a good college. That was my primary preference because I wanted to gather a wider perspective, get more opportunities and everything. So I decided to take a drop year, and in my drop year, um, I realized one thing about myself, that I worked better if I had a single goal in my mind. So, somewhere down the line, I decided that Triple IT was my goal for the drop year. And the reason that Triple IT came to my mind was that I was using Quora a lot during my drop year. And I read a lot about the college on the application, the coding culture, the people, the opportunities, the GSOC selections, especially. And this inspired me a lot during my drop year. Made me work harder for it, and it was a very happy day for me when I finally got in, especially as a dropper. So one thing that I wanted to say, if there are any droppers watching this session, guys, I know the amount of pressure that we have on ourselves to deliver something good at the end of our drop year, and the whole situation currently must have made the situation worse. And I know I wanted to give up so many times during my drop year. So I would just like to say one thing, that guys, best of luck. This is the last lap. Just don't give up. Okay, I would just like to talk about a few things Triple IT has given me. So Triple IT has given me immense opportunities, all the way from cultural activities to sports activities as well. I had a minor interest towards acting in my first year, and I got multiple opportunities to present myself in the college. Even after that, I realized one thing about myself, again, something new, that I liked working more than I liked studying. And, so Triple ID has given me immense opportunities to work both on campus and off campus. So, yeah, I mean, you guys won't regret joining Triple ID, that's for sure. I'd just like to say what I'm doing right now. So as of now, I'm interning at Microsoft and I'm working as a student developer for Google Summer of Code 2020. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, somewhere down the line, I want to pursue an MBA, and preferably I want to do that at a university abroad, because I still have that dream in my mind from my teenage. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Shraddha, you're on.
My name is Shraddha Sehgal, and I've just completed my second year of computer science at IIIT Hyderabad. I'm going into my third year. So I'm currently interning at Google for this summer, and I'll be happy to answer your questions in Hindi and English. So moving on to something about me and my journey and how I reached IIIT. So I've been born and raised in Delhi. So I've lived here all my life. And like any engineering student, aspirant rather, uh, I just went to coaching. I prepared for JEE mains. And once the results came, of course, I was very jubilant, but I did not know what I wanted to pursue further. So I read a lot, and my parents and I, we both sat down and we researched, and I was really intrigued by the curriculum at IIIT, how they approach things and how learning takes place here, and of course the much famous research culture and coding culture here. So I knew that I was interested in technology, and if I wanted to pursue computer science, IIIT Hyderabad was the place to be. But my parents were not of the same opinion. They thought that, well, she's lived with us all her life. Why to send her somewhere so far off? They kept telling me to go to a college in Delhi or somewhere close by, like say Rajasthan. But I knew that if I wanted personal growth and development, I wanted the best education, and for that, I really wanted to go to IIIT Hyderabad. So I sat my parents down and we discussed the pros and cons, and they also agreed with me that uh, being closer to them will not allow me to be independent and confident and grow in other spheres of my life. So, long story short, I ended up joining IIIT Hyderabad, and 2 years after that incident, I'm very happy with my decision because I've gotten to learn a lot. Like I said, I've become more independent. I've got a diverse set of friends, and I've become more confident as a person. Now, one thing that really I like about IIIT Hyderabad is that they have carved out a niche for computer science. So our coding activities start from our first year itself. So in most colleges, whilst you might be studying science and biology, physics, and so on, from our first year itself, we start out with our computer science courses. So I believe that has helped me practice and gain more information in a short span of time, whilst my peers in other colleges were still pursuing things that were different from their fields. So that, I believe, allowed me to bag my internship for this year because courses such as data structures and computer programming are taught to us in our first year. So that enabled me to learn a lot from the very beginning. So I'm very appreciative of this college and what all it has given me. Now, apart from the academic side of things, I'd like to tell you what I like to do otherwise. I love dancing, and like any engineering aspirant, I also read on Quora about how IIIT Hyderabad is supposedly a very academic-oriented place, but that is truly a misconception, and I only realized that once I came on college. As I said, dancing is my passion, and as soon as I came here, the dance club of our college welcomed me, and I am now serving as the coordinator there. it's an amazing community and it has dancers from all forms, be it classical or jazz, ballet, and so on. And we get together almost every fortnight and we plan some event. Even in COVID, in the face of COVID, we're organizing online dance-offs and challenges. And we do take part in our annual Techno-Cultural Fest, Felicity. And we also take part in on festivals such as Independence Day or say in our athletic meet. So yeah, that's something I like doing apart from academics. And IIIT Hyderabad has given me a place to pursue that and develop on my hobbies and passions.
Hi everyone, welcome to this session. I'm Mugdha and I'm a fourth year. I finished my fourth year from IIIT Hyderabad in April this time. So I'm from Pune and I came in through the DASA mode of admission. So I stay in Bahrain and I had joined CSC. So I was very sure that I wanted to go for CSC. So I had a senior in my school who decided, who had come to IIIT 1 year before. So I'd gotten in touch with him and he was very enthusiastic about the college and about the coding culture here. And that sort of led the way. And because of him, I heard his experiences from him. And I decided that if I want to do CSC, this is the place, right? As Shraddha said. So it was deciding to join in was very smooth for me. But however, mine was the year when SAT1 was introduced for the first time for the DASA mode of admission. And I was very lucky. I took my SAT1, without any aim of going abroad. But that helped. That sort of helped me get into IIIT without, if I had not given the SAT1, I wouldn't have been here. So that's how I entered. And later, in these 4 years, I have seen myself changing so much, be it related to tech, be it related to leadership. So I started a club in college, the Toastmasters Club, or I've been active in the debate club. So this whole journey of taking up lead, or I've also been teaching assistant for some courses on software systems. So this whole journey of getting into tech, leading things forward has sort of enabled me now that going forward, I can be a leader in this field. And in my third year, I did an internship at Samsung. So I'll be joining Samsung after I complete this graduation, after this whole Corona situation is better, right? So that's what these are the opportunities that you get in this place. The college opens doors for opportunities. It's finally up to you to take it or not. But these opportunities opened up for me. Also being an undergraduate college where undergraduate research is given so much importance, which is why I decided to try it out. I thought, let me try researching. And I had no idea what research was by the end of second year. And I just got into it. I tried it out. I liked it. It was fun. So I did my research in natural language processing for 2 years under a professor. So that has been my interesting journey. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have related to CSC and IIIT. And I can take questions in English and in Marathi. Back to Devesh.
All right, I think we can start with the questions now. Information about the financial assistance provided by IIIT. Mugdha, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, sure.
I think that's a question we missed. Minal's question.
Okay. I'll take it up here.
Okay, sure. So I think we have a dedicated web page of all the financial assistance. Maybe Shraddha can share that. So there is an alumni fund. There are 2-3 options. It's there on our admissions page, usually admissions at IIIT.ac.in. So you can have a look there. So all the options are given there. If you have more questions, you can write a mail to the admissions office.
All right. Yeah, I have some information about this. So IIITH is offering a 25% waiver on tuition fees for all the women students admitted through JEE mode from 2020. And this waiver will be there for all 4 years of the BTech program. And other than that, merit scholarships will also be available for women students admitted through JEE mode. And these will begin from the second year and onwards. And the application mode for the application fee for JEE mode for women students is INR 500 basically, which is voluntary. So what are
Yeah,
students
just a
expected to do?
second.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention the website for that you can visit to find out more about financial aid. You can go to tripleit.ac.in/admissions/undergraduate/assistance.
So what are the students expected to do in the name of research? I guess Aniruddha and Mukta can best talk about this.
So I think in the it's a good question because it's not something we know straight off the bat. It's sort of in a way it's often similar to the much broader question of what I'm going to do in a particular engineering, right? Everyone wants to do CS engineering or electronic whatever, right? Mechanical engineering, but you don't really know what is going on behind the scenes, what people do as a part of the minutiae of their daily life, which is actually what matters. So in the name of research, basically what you will do is, I think in IIIT usually get to start work with if you're a research student, you start working with a professor starting from the first semester of your third year, right? And if possible, often the summer before that. So basically there are different professors who sort of specialize in different fields, right? And you sort of start talking to a particular professor, you tell them your interests, right? And both of you try to sort of dig a little deeper into certain topics, right? You sort of locate a particular topic that you want to work on, and you sort of pursue working on that particular topic, right? So in my case, I'm currently working on you know on autonomous cars broadly, right? So you're basically looking at different objects on a particular road, and basically you should be able to track all of them, your own motion, everything. So that is something that we are working on. So is Google or Uber and all, but you kind of find a a small problem, and you try to find the solution for this, and this might take a few days, a few months, or it might even stretch out over a year, right? So it's not something that simple, but the large general idea is you try to get you try to look at one particular small problem and you try to solve that, and you have pretty good guidance largely in your efforts to doing so. Right, Mukta, do you want to add anything to that?
Yes, I'd like to add how my journey started into research. And as I said in my intro, I had no idea what research meant, and just because I wanted to try it out, I'm in IIIT, which is famous for its undergrad research, and that is the only reason I went into trying it out. And when I decided I want to try it out, I didn't know which lab to go into. So IIIT does not divide based on branches of engineering; we divide based on research centers. Right? So I was not sure where to go, and seniors told me find your interests. But then the only thing I knew was I like languages. Right? I had this interest in how languages are designed or how different words placed in different positions. I had interest in that, so I thought I'll go into the natural language processing lab. That was my thought process, a very layman thought process, and that's how I approached a professor, and that's when I'd heard these buzzwords, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and I went to this professor and I said, I have no idea what all of this means, but I am interested in languages, and I want to try it. I was at the end of my second year. It's at the end of second year that you choose lab and start working. It's the second year summer that you read up about the topic and get into it. So that's how I got in, and then the professor shared some. The first thing he did was he laughed, and then he said, "Okay, come on in. I'll give you some research papers. Try reading them." I went back and I came back within a week saying, "Sir, I did not understand anything." So that's how it started. So this happens with a lot of people, but then it is at the stage that they get intimidated. So all I want to say is don't get intimidated by the word research. It took 3-4 months to read about NLP, to do a proper course in it, to understand it in depth, and then start thinking about gaps in the field. But know that it's a long process. It's not a 1 month thing. And yeah, over to Devesh.
All right. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next question. How different is the ECE curriculum at IIIT than CSE? Shraddha, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, so one thing is at IIIT Hyderabad, a coding culture is prevalent regardless of your branch. So of course, ECE and CSE do have different courses, but as Mugdha mentioned, we don't segregate on the basis of branches. Students go into different research centers, and as an ECE student, you are always welcome at supposedly a computer science based research lab. So I have a lot of friends, and as Anuruddha also mentioned, he's working in the field of computer vision. So it's all very interdisciplinary. So at IIIT Hyderabad, we are allowed to take electives from our second year itself, which is something that's unique to IIIT Hyderabad and not a lot of other Indian colleges. So having the choice of electives, we get to choose what it is that we want to study. And if you are from a CSE background and you think that my interests lie towards the electronics side, you can always pick up courses relevant to those and vice versa. So that's something unique to IIIT Hyderabad, that we don't segregate as such on the basis of branches, and you have the freedom to pursue what it is that you like in technology.
So like what are the subjects taught in the first and second semester? So again, I think Shraddha is the best person to answer this. So yeah, Shraddha, over to you.
Right. So as I said that we don't segregate on the basis of branches. So in my first year, I did an electronics course as well, which I think is very fundamental to technology in general, which is called digital signals and microprocessors. Apart from that, I also had another very important course called computer programming, where we learn C and C++. That is a very unique course, and this is different, especially this is something new that IIIT Hyderabad does that other colleges don't, is that we have an online judge, and you get to practice coding, and this is what encourages the programming culture at IIIT Hyderabad. This also comes handy when it comes to internships and other opportunities that you would like to pursue. And I believe it personally helped me a lot, as I got to experience it early on in my first year, whereas my peers pursued this course in their second year in different colleges. So that is what you learn in first year. In second year, as I mentioned, we in our second semester, we get a choice of electives. We can choose 3 electives that we like. So you can tailor your curriculum based on what it is that you want to pursue. Apart from that, we also have courses such as operating systems in our second year and introduction to databases. We also have this one course on software engineering, where we get to experience the corporate life, or actually work in the industry. So how that course is structured is that you work at a startup or some organization, and you develop products for them, and you can actually see your work go into production. So that course is definitely not about the exams and writing assignments. It's all about coding. So that's something that everybody at IIIT Hyderabad is really looks forward to, and that I think gives you great experience in the field. So I think I didn't cover all the courses, because you can check that out on our website. I will send that in the chat. But these are some of the very fundamental courses that we take in our first and second year.
All right. Okay, so are the freshmen expected to know anything about coding and computer programming? All right, I'll just take it up. I mean, the courses are, like the courses start from very basics. So like there is no prerequisite as such that you need to know something about coding and programming in general. Maybe Shraddha, do you want to add something to this as a first year?
Yeah, there are no prerequisites at all. You are not expected to have any knowledge beforehand. Even if you haven't touched a laptop in your life, that is fine. There were a lot of students like that in my batch, and we start from the very basics here. And that's not something you need to do even in the break after your JEE examinations and so on. You can just take that time to relax. College teaches you everything from scratch, and it will go at a pace that everybody is comfortable with.
Yeah, all right. Okay, when we consider universities abroad, they check various things like SAT scores, extracurriculars. So what are the prerequisites for IIIT? All right, Aniruddha?
I mean, I'm guessing the question relates to DASA mode of admission, right?
Yeah.
So basically for
Yes.
IIIT Hyderabad, extracurriculars and all don't matter. It's just SAT scores. So for CSE, so basically you take 2 different SAT tests. One of them is called the subject tests, in which you take math level 2, then you take physics and chemistry. All right. So, and apart from this, you have the main SAT tests, which are out of 1600, which mainly test for some really basic maths and English. So largely, I'd say that the last few years, the SAT score cutoffs have been around 2400 in the subject tests, which means you need to get full in all the 3 subject tests you will be taking. This is not very hard, and it's something that most all of us here have done. And additionally, you need to get a good SAT1 score as well. I think last year the cutoff was 1520 out of 1600. Which with some kind of prep is quite achievable, because these tests aren't incredibly hard, or they don't require extended preparations like what JEE might. So I mean, broadly, that's all you need. There are no extracurriculars. You just, I think, need to get about 60% to be eligible. Basically, you just need to pass your 12th grade and CBSE exams or anything, and just you need to keep your SAT scores in your pocket.
All right.
I'd just like to add something here.
Yeah.
So one, there are actually 2 modes of admissions that do involve interviews. So one is the Olympiad mode, which you can enter via KVPY, or if you've taken part in the linguistics Olympiad and so on. The UGE mode also enables an interview. So once you've taken the UGE exam and you've met the cutoff, you are invited to our campus for an interview. And there, it's not very technical. The interviewers just would like to get to know you and why you feel that IIIT Hyderabad is the right place for you. They'd like to find out more about your journey and your interests. So whilst that's not directly related to your question, it is something where they do talk about your extracurriculars, and you can always drive your conversation there about where you draw your inspiration from. So yes, UGE and Olympiad modes, they involve an interview.
All right. Okay, let's move on. What is the difference between 5-year and 4-year course? Mugdha, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So there is, I mean, if you look at it, it's not a huge difference when it comes to courses. So the first 2 years, right, you have common courses with everyone. And so, I mean, if you're say CSE and CSD, right? So if we talk about these 2 branches, there is absolutely no difference in the course structure till your 4th year, right? Apart from 1 or 2 lab electives that you might have to take being a CSD student. The main difference is in the research. So, a dual degree student has to complete their thesis. They have to defend their thesis, and then they get an MS by research degree along with their BTech degree. So at the end of 4 years, you don't get a BTech degree. At the end of 5 or 6 years, depending on how much time it takes for you to complete your thesis, you get an MS plus BTech degree. Now, for a 4-year student, you join in by default as a BTech student. However, at the end of 2nd year, you have the option of upgrading to a BTech with honors degree, right? So this is, somewhere between a 4-year and a 5-year program. So you're still a 4-year student. You still get your BTech at the end of your 4th year, but you also get to experience research, right? So you join as an honors student. So for the next 2 years, for the 3rd and 4th year, you work with a professor just like a dual degree student would work. Dual degree students by default have to do this, but a 4-year student has an option to go for this as well. Also, at the end of, I've seen a few of my friends who have converted from 4-year program to 5-year program because they love research so much that they realized this is what I want to do. So they changed from a CSE to a CSD program. Now, there are some dual degree programs like CND and CLD, Natural Sciences and Linguistics. They have some different courses as well in their first 4 years. Right? But apart from that, apart from the research component, the courses wise and opportunity wise, there's not so much of a difference. A research student, a dual degree student can also apply for other internships and sit for campus placements. That way, there is no difference. The only difference is in the research and the MS thesis. Yeah. Back to you, Devesh.
All right. Okay, moving on. What kind of courses that we do? Okay, particularly along CS course structure. Okay, Shraddha, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, so as I mentioned previously, that in the first and second year, IIIT really carves out a niche for itself for computer science by starting early on and giving the students exposure from the beginning itself. For a detailed view of our curriculum for any course, you can visit the website iit.ac.in/academics, and you can view all programs for CSE, ECE, even MTech or PhD. Uh, so yeah, of course, IIIT Hyderabad is known for its computer science, it's known for its coding culture, and it's one of the best universities in India. To find out about how we go about it, what our teaching methodology is, everything is listed on this website that I mentioned.
Like in many cases, new courses get added every year as well. So like we said previously, there is a system of taking electives. So I think like every year, if there is some new kind of thing that people can take up, a new course does come up every now and then. All right, so let's move on. Are there regular coding contests held internally? All right, so IIIT is pretty much very well known for its programming culture, and not exactly coding contests are held internally. For like the first years, I can say there's something called as OJs, which are basically their assignments, but they become coding contests anyway. Other than that, there are a few coding contests that are organized during our technical festivals. But other than that, people focus on the standard platforms where people give coding contests basically. Yeah, Shraddha, maybe you want to add something to this?
Yeah, you would have heard about how the coding culture at IIIT Hyderabad is so great, but this community participation is what makes it so great. So we have this club called the IIIT Programming Club, where we regularly challenge each other and we compete with each other in a healthy manner, of course. And there are internal contests regularly as well. We also recently started this thing where all of us tune in from across batches and watch a live contest of two of the participants from our college. So they sit down and they solve problems, and they do so really fast. And there's also commentary going on, and it's something that's very exciting and very thrilling. So yeah, the culture is great at IIIT, and we constantly encourage healthy competition amongst your peers.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so what courses fall under theory/foundation, breadth electives, bouquet courses, science, and HS electives? All right. Okay, so I think this can be explained well by Mugdha. I think she has taken up all types of courses. Yeah.
Okay, no, I've just taken more courses than the others.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I would say under bouquet there are two categories: systems and foundations. So under systems you have courses like databases, compilers, right? So these system heavy courses like distributed systems. Yeah, these kind of courses come under systems courses. Under foundation, you have courses like machine learning theory, artificial intelligence, or optimization methods, principles of programming languages. So these are courses that come under foundation. Now you got to complete 3 courses under systems, 3 courses under foundation. Also, one good unique thing about IIIT is, and that was one of my motivations to join it. So till 12th, I was slightly weak at chemistry, compared to my physics and maths. So I was really happy that I didn't have to do chemistry in my first year. Like a lot of colleges. So that was my motivation of coming here. And but it came back to bite me in my third and fourth year. So we have to take 2 science courses as electives in our third and fourth year. Whenever in whichever semester you want to. So there I had to again take up science courses. But I mean, it helps again where you get back to everyone has forgotten stuff, and it's fun to come back to those kind of courses. Then we have a course on engineering that you have to take. So there's a category called HSNE, humanities, science, mathematics, and engineering. So you have to complete courses in each of these categories towards your credit requirements. So all of this happens in third and fourth year. You don't have to worry so much about it now.
Yeah.
In the first and second year, it's all core courses. They're all related to CS, if you're in the CS branch. And electives start in third and fourth year, one good thing is, you can pick the kind of courses you want to do. So I was really interested in, poetry, literature. So I did my humanities courses in that. So it gives you that kind of freedom as well. And you can do it confidently when you're already done with your CS courses. You've gotten all those skills under your belt. So that's the structure of collectives.
Okay, let's move on to the next question from Aman. I've been more inclined towards coding, though being in a drop year, and I certainly am not expecting to get into IIITH through mains. Can transfer option in the second year get me into IIITH? Yeah, so in IIIT there is something called as a lateral entry admissions, and for that I think there is a separate examination, LEEE, I guess. Am I right, Mukta? Yeah. So people who have completed their second year undergraduate study in computer science are eligible to, are eligible for that examination. And if you get selected, I think there's an interview process after the exam. And if you get selected, you join the BTech program as a second year. Yeah. Anything to add, guys? Okay. All right. At what year do you usually start participating in GSOC and ICPC? Okay. Like for either for GSOC and ICPC, I don't think there is any requirement of which year of your undergrad study that you're in. I'm not sure about ICPC, but GSOC just requires that you need to be a college student basically. So in our college, even first years, crack GSOC, and there are people in fifth year that are doing it as well. So yeah, there is no usual start date or anything as such. It's basically based upon your interest, and there are people taking, there are people doing things. You won't get any, lack of opportunities. Is what I'll say. I mean, you can do either of those whenever you want. Okay, guys, anything to add?
I mean, nothing. Yeah, basically at the core, it's just that GSOC or ICPC don't really require any year. You just start. You come in and you can start. You can give your first attempt in your first year. And there are people who've, it might not be very easy, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. There are people in the past who've kind of gotten places in both of them by starting right out in the first year.
Cool.
Yeah, as you rightly pointed out, you just have to be driven. There's no age restriction per se. Just to prove to you that we're not just saying all fluff, and that has happened at our college. This year there were four selections for GSOC from the first year itself, and last year in ICPC 3 teams qualified from our college from the first year, which is something unheard of in most colleges. And this year as well in ICPC, we had a team selected from the first year. So really, if you're driven enough, if you're motivated enough, and you like pursuing open source or competitive programming, you can definitely do that. And there's a culture to pursue that at our college.
Okay, with respect to placements, can an EC student also appear for all the CSE companies? All right. Mukta, would you like to say something about this? Since you've since you have seen how the placement goes in our college.
Yeah. So companies generally don't have this, CSE or EC requirements. You will find hardly 1 or 2 company coming in only for EC. I don't think there was any company who came only for CSE. So the major criteria that the company has. So this college is basically an information technology college. So companies also know that everyone here codes. So the major criteria that companies generally have is the CGPA, right? So they want your CGPA to be about 7.5 or about 8 or about 7. That is the criteria that the company keeps, and every company conducts a coding round. And after that, they take the interview. So it doesn't really matter whether it's CSE or EC. The only thing that I have seen a lot of people face is with regards to the project. So when you come in an interview, if it's a resume-based interview, so some people have this, they themselves have this inferiority that they're from EC, so they don't have CSE-related projects. But that's also not true. I know a lot of my EC friends who are placed at, say, Microsoft or, good companies. So it's about they want to see how much you have put in your project, and what you can bring to the table. What the project is about doesn't really matter so much in placements as well. So from placement point of view, I've not seen this issue about CSE and ECE coming up.
Yeah, I was just saying that you can find out more about all our placement statistics at ims.iit.ac.in/placements.php. You'll get to know all the statistics for the past 3 years, and you'll get to know what all companies come here to hire and who they hire and so on. So
Hi, I've got into CSE and IIITH through DASA mode. So I actually have a lot of free time now. Can you please suggest any interesting courses on computer science that I can refer to? All right, Aniruddha, you're up.
I mean, to be very honest, I think you should just chill out and relax, because you get a this is a, I mean, you aren't going to get these vacations back, right, when you have absolutely nothing to worry about. But if you do want to take any course, I think you can start off by taking any kind. It depends on your interests, right? Because I think maybe at your level, I think maybe you can take courses relating to just basic C programming or Python programming, right? In addition to this, if you have any particular interest, then you can take more specialized courses. But it's important that you sort of know the basics of programming before you sort of jump into all these higher courses. It also helps if you are interested. You can always take certain math courses, like any linear algebra course, Gilbert's linear algebra course and sorts, because I think math is an important base for whatever we'll do. But it's not something that you'll need right away. Because you will be doing all that in college as well. But I think if you are going to start with anything, you should probably be a little comfortable, coding in either C++ and Python maybe, and you should have good. I think it helps to have a good basic and basis in linear algebra and maybe differential. But yeah, stick to linear algebra.
All right. I guess like personally, what I would suggest is maybe like this is going to be the last few months of your free time. Maybe I would suggest you to indulge more into your hobbies than taking up courses, because anyway, as soon as you come to IIIT, you'll be pretty busy, and everything will start from basics anyway. So I don't think you'll have any kind of edge per se. So yeah, I would suggest you to take up your hobbies and work on them.
I think that would be best. Just go. This is a vacation you aren't going to get again, right? Where you have absolutely no responsibilities. So you might as well make the most of it and have a good time.
Okay. Do we have a filmmaking club?
I mean, not particularly, right?
Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah.
But
So yeah,
it helps
if
because
you
you
are,
can. It helps because you can come up and start a filmmaking club. There is no real restriction. We have a photography club, drama based, a club that runs dramas and sorts. But filmmaking in particular, I think maybe people have done this in the past, right? But currently there is no filmmaking club that is active at the moment. But if you come in, you can always start any kind of club, right? Because you just sort of formally start a club and then you go ask the college for a budget and stuff, and they usually comply as long as the budget is reasonable, right? So I think most recently we've had some clubs started, like the astronomy club and sorts, which for which we did buy a telescope that the college did fund. So usually, as long as you're asking for things that are reasonable, you can start a club and conduct your own meetings.
Right. Okay.
yeah,
I hope that answers.
Add
Yeah,
something here. Since our college is a small community, so you don't have to go through a lot of steps or contact higher authorities to get these things in place. It's very, you can do so very informally, and I think that really eases out the process. As Aniruddha said, an astronomy club was founded last year. We also have a new club that was just made, that's called the Triplison Humor Club. And they host comedy nights at our college now, and that's really interesting. So really, our college offers a lot to the students as long as they want to pursue these hobbies and they have an interest in it. Our college places no bounds on that.
Yeah. All right. Okay, let's move on. How is the day schedule of a CSE student in general? Okay. Aniruddha, you want to take this up?
I mean, sure. So, I mean, in my first year, it was a little more hectic, right? Because, in first year we have labs and sorts. So you have classes in the morning. Usually, we've got actually multiple slots from 8:30 in the morning to 5 o'clock in the evening, right? So they're all 1.5 hour slots with a lunch from 1 to 2. And depending on the courses you have taken, a lot of these slots get filled up. And in our first year, you usually have labs that take 2 1 hour slots in the afternoon. So your afternoons are pretty packed. But I'm in third year right now. I mean, I just finished my third year right now. So we've got a good luxury in terms of choosing our courses. So if you don't want any course on a Saturday, you can take that, right? And you can have an extended weekend. You can go back home, whatever. Or if you think you won't get up early in the morning, don't take a 8:30 class. So there is a bit of flexibility when you come in your first year. Yes, there is a sort of a structure arranged in which it might be a little into which you can't really change a lot of things. But as time goes on, you've got a good ability to just change what you're going to do in the day. In terms of learning, a lot of learning happens out of class. In fact, most of the learning sort of happens hands-on with assignments. So you'll spend a lot of time doing assignments, to be very honest. But it does help you learn to a great deal. In addition to this, there is you can always just campuses in the middle of the city, so you can always go out and it's quite an unrestricted environment, so you can always have fun on your own end as long as you're able to do your work.
Okay. All right. Adding to that, I mean, I just wanted to point one thing out. The schedule is such that it's not like you have classes continuously. And like Niruddha said, there are 1.5 hour slots, and based on the course you have, the classes will be there. So, I mean, it's possible that you have a class at 3 in the afternoon and none in the morning. Yeah, other than that, when you'll come in your first and second year, you'll be doing, PE, yoga, and I think it's Taekwondo, right, Shraddha, I guess? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you'll have to do 4 semesters of these activities. I mean, now you do have an option to choose between whether you want to do it in the morning or in the evening. When I was in my first year, we only had the option. We didn't have an option. We had to wake up at 6:30 in the morning. Uh, yeah. So yeah. Apart from that, like officially, these are the 2 things that will be a part of your schedule: the academic classes and the PT thing. And other than that, you'll also have labs in your first year. So yeah, officially that's the schedule that you look at for any random day. After 5, I don't think after 5 there is anything like academic officially there. So yeah, after that you're free to pursue whatever you want.
Also, Saturdays are half days. Yeah. Saturdays are half days. So this is a misconception that we have a 6-day week. That's not true. On Saturdays, everything ends by 2 p.m. So you are free to do whatever you wish to, and you can have a long weekend and relax. So yeah, all Saturdays are half days. No academic activity happens after 2.
Yeah, I just want to add from personal experience. I mean, although you have a schedule of a day, what I have seen in IIIT is that you have, say, a week or 2 that is extremely busy, and you're packed up with 5 or 6 assignment deadlines coming up in that week, or you have your mid-semester exams or your end semester exams, right? So there's this patch of 2 weeks which is like a sprint, and then it's a whole week of no assignment deadlines, and you're free to explore your own interests. So I've seen throughout these 4 years there have been these patches where 2 weeks are really hectic, and then the next 1 or 2 weeks is you realize, you go back and check your courses portal, am I really missing any assignment? So it's more of these patches. It's not every day is not the same, otherwise it would have been very boring. So I really like this nature of having 1 week of freedom, 1 week of packed in work. That's the sort of structure you'd see here. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Can you specialize in any field of CSE, or is it a general CSE? Aniruddha?
Yeah, sure. You don't really specialize in any field as such. In terms of a degree that you're going to get, you're only going to get a CSC degree. But you can, of course, take an honors and work on a particular field, and that's sort of like a specialization because that is going to show up on your resume as a specialization. But in terms of the degree that you're going to get, no, it's just a CSC degree.
How is the work-life balance at IIITH? Shraddha, anything you want to say?
I think this is really up to the individual. If you like taking on as many things on your plate, you are welcome to do that. If you want to stick to the curriculum and the coursework, you can do that as well. I personally think that the work-life balance, it gets tough at times, but on the whole, I do enjoy it. I like challenging myself, and IIIT is the perfect environment for that. So unlike most colleges, our assignments are coding based, and they don't just test our examination giving skills. So uh, like I mentioned earlier, for our software engineering course, we worked with the startup. So whilst that was hectic, I learned a lot in the process. And in fact, I would take that course again if I could, because it really taught me a lot. As I mentioned earlier, and I think somebody asked in the chat as well, if there's a dance club at IIIT. So yes, there is, and I'm a part of it. I'm actually serving as the coordinator, and it's something I love to do. It's something I do every fortnight, and whatever dance event is there, I am definitely the first person to reach there, and I do take part. Apart from that, I'm also a member of the debate club, and really, it's up to you. If you're enthusiastic about these activities, you can definitely take out time for them. And IIIT does encourage you to do it. As I mentioned, there's no authorities or hierarchy that you have to go through. You can find your own club. You can participate in as many clubs as you want. There's not a rigorous selection procedure. And the reason for that is that we're a closely knit community, right? And we want as many people to participate. So we don't go through this extensive process of selecting people and only people who are experienced. So I can speak for the dance club and the others can tell you more. We don't have this selection procedure in place. As long as you're happy dancing, we welcome you and you can take part in all of our events. So as I mentioned, yeah, the academic activity does get a lot at times, but it's definitely not impossible to cope with, and you just have to take out time for yourself. If anybody would like to add anything.
Just one thing, like IIIT is known for being academically oriented, and I think on a lot of, like, it is true. You are academically very busy. You're kept very busy. So I think as soon as you come in your first year, it might be it might be surprising. But I think one thing that IIIT has taught me over the last 3 years is that how time management is a very important thing, and yeah, it has taught me time management. Okay, moving on. Hi, I would like to know what is the criteria / qualifying exams for IIITH for NRIs for the year 2021. Okay, Aniruddha, Mukta, I think you can take this up.
Sure. So the qualifying exam. So for NRIs, we have this mode of admission called the DASA mode of admission, and there are two exams for this. One is your SAT subject test, and one is your SAT 1. I'm not sure if it's still called SAT 1. 4 years back, it was called SAT 1 and SAT 2. I think now it's called the SAT exam or something. Anyway, so these are the two exams that you need to qualify. The first criteria is your SAT 2 score, your subject test, so physics, chemistry, maths out of 800. And the second criteria is your SAT 1 exam. So how the rank list is prepared is basically first you're ranked according to your SAT 2 scores, and then when there is a tie, when you need to break the tie, so there are two people with 2400, so then your SAT 1 scores are considered to break the tie. And again, in that, more priority is given to your math scores than the English scores when you have to break the tie. So these are the only two exams, and of course you need to pass the essential requirement of your board exams. But these are the only two exams that you need. And from the trends of the past year, for SAT 2, I don't think the cutoff has changed. Cutoff has always been 2400. From my batch, the batch above mine, it was 2390. But my batch onwards, it has always been 2400. So you need a 2400 in SAT 2, and in SAT 1, the cutoffs keep varying.
for the same. If you want to find out about any program of ours, you can go to ugadmissions.iit.ac.in/index.html. So you can find out about all modes of admission, what the eligibility criteria is, what the fee structure is, and what the past cutoffs are also. So you can go ahead and see that.
How many CSE students are there in a class in a particular year? All right. I think Shraddha, you can say. I think you will know the exact figures for the current batch, I guess.
Yeah, so our batch is 120 CSE students, but in your first and second year, you study alongside everyone. So you have courses according to the different branches, CSE, CSD, CLD, CHD, and so on. But yeah, to be precise, there are 120 students in my batch.
Okay, Shraddha, I think this question is for you. How did you convince your parents to send you from Delhi to Hyderabad? And was this always your first choice?
Right. So thank you so much for answering this question. And I think this is a very relevant question, especially with the talk of the diversity channel and everything going on. So no, it was not my first choice because my parents had effectively convinced me that, you know what, I should stay at home. I should join a college somewhere close by. Their reasoning was that, you know, Delhi is a good place to live. There are great colleges here. Why don't you stay at home with us, be in the comfort of your home and learn? But then I realized, you know what, I don't want to be under your shelter always. I want to be my own person. I want to lead an individual life, and you can't protect me always, right? So then their reasoning was, okay, forget Delhi, you can go to Rajasthan. Go to any neighboring state. Why do you have to go so far, right? And then, so I was also very confused for a while. But as I mentioned in my introduction also, I sat down, I went through all the pros and cons. I realized that I did have an interest in technology and I wanted to pursue computer science. And as everybody has mentioned repeatedly, if you want to do CS, IIIT Hyderabad is the place to be. And I realized that. Now, the tough part was making my parents realize that. So I sat them down, I had a talk with them, and I made them realize that the most important thing is you getting the best education possible. And that was uh, for me at IIIT Hyderabad. So despite me going away from them, I would become more independent, I would become more confident. And over the years, that has happened. I've learned time management. There's nobody to wake me up at home. I don't have mom's home cooked food, right? I have to go to the mess. I have to wash my own clothes. But really, that has made me become a better individual overall, and that prepared me for adult life. So as I mentioned, IIIT Hyderabad was not my first choice, but in hindsight, it was the best choice for me. So some of the concerns that you may have may be safety. So I'll just address those quickly. IIIT Hyderabad is in the heart of the city. It's in an IT tech park. We have the ISB, the Indian School of Business campus, right adjacent to our college, which is also a very renowned institute. IIIT Hyderabad is located in Gachibowli, and we have offices of Microsoft, TCS very close by. So it's really a good area to live in. Apart from that, when my parents were concerned about the safety of the campus, we looked that up. So I'll just share those details with you, and you can maybe share these with your parents. It's a 66-acre campus, and there's just one point of entry and exit for everybody on campus. So unlike most colleges, it's not a widely sprawling campus with students everywhere, and there's so much going on campus. It's not that. It's a closely knit community, and there's people around you constantly, so you do not have to be concerned about safety. Moving on, there are guards. There are guards stationed at every building, outside your hostels, outside the main gates, of course, and at every academic building as well. So with all these factors, my parents realized that, yeah, safety is not a problem. She's going to a great place. And once I made them realize that ultimately it's my education that is primary, they also agreed with me that, yeah, we might have to let you go, but at least you will learn to be your own self. Moving on, one thing that I think helped me was I convinced my parents to talk to a senior of mine that's studying at IIIT Hyderabad, who was from my school. So whatever concerns my parents had, they spoke to them about it, and they got all the details about the mess and the classes and everything. So once my parents spoke to this student's parents, because I think you can take that approach, parents to parents, they understand concerns better. so they can relate to each other. So if they're not listening to you, I would recommend that they talk to your seniors' parents or something like that. My parents did that, and that really convinced them that, okay, we should send her here. It's the best choice for her. So I know that was a detailed answer, but I thought it was the need of the hour, considering that a lot of parents have these concerns about sending their child to a far off place. So IIIT Hyderabad is the place to be if you want to pursue CS. And so I did convince my parents and I did push them to send me here.
All right. That was a very nice answer, Shraddha. Okay. Yeah, moving on to the next question. Is hostel compulsory for all, even if they are living in Hyderabad? So yeah, I mean, IIIT is a residential college. So yeah, it is compulsory for every student to live in the hostels, whether or not they are from Hyderabad. Okay. How different is the dual degree CND and CLD courses as compared to CSE? Can the dual degree students sit in the placements with the CSE students as well? Okay, I'll just answer this question. So in dual degree, like Mugdha already explained, you have to do an MS, like you have to do additional research to secure your degree. Other than that, in terms of just the courses in the first 2 years, they are pretty much the same. One thing for CND and CLD that is different is that in CND and CLD, the BTech is in computer science and not in computer science and engineering. So that's why a few courses of engineering, like specifically for a few specific engineering courses are not there for CND and CLD people, which are there for CSE students. And similarly, CND and CLD students have additional courses related, to their particular field in their first and second years, which the CSE students don't have. And as for the placements, the dual degree students sit for placements at the end of their 5th year. I mean, in their 5th year. Yeah. So they sit with the CSE people one batch below theirs, not with the same batch. Okay. Moving on. Hi Ashutosh. How much hard work to do in the next 4 or 5 years in college? Mugdha, I think you'll answer this the best. You've completed the 4 years in the college.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very interesting question because there is no definite answer to how much hard work you need to do. It's so I've seen 2 or 3 kinds of people. There is one set of people who work hard completely for the first 2 years, do not participate in any co-curriculars. They are only studying and doing their programming, and some of them get into competitive programming. That is one set of people. They do really well in their, they get their internships, they get their placements. And then for the 3rd and 4th year, they decide to relax a little and they shift their focus into different clubs or, moving on with friends. So that is one path that some people take. There is another set of people who are able to balance both of this really well. Like Shraddha, for example, this set of people, they're good at their academics and they're good at, they have some specific talent and they're good at co-curriculars. There is a third category of people who cannot handle so much freedom that they get immediately after coming out of 12th grade, and they decide not to focus on academics and they focus only on co-curriculars for the first 2 years. And in 3rd year, they realize that, I should have worked harder. Right? So these are the 3 different categories of people. There's no right or wrong category, but it depends on what you want to achieve at the end of the day, where you want to see yourself, and how interested you are, right? I mean, it's of course best to put in your maximum efforts into your work, but if you want to build your overall personality, then you would want to get into co-curriculars as well. So do what you feel is important, but know that whatever you do, you will have to reap its benefits or its not so good results. So I mean, these are the 3 categories I have broadly seen, and all of them have their pros and cons. So put in your efforts, put in your maximum efforts in what you feel you want to achieve. That's what I will say.
I think if I may add to that, I think it fundamentally depends on what you want out of college. A lot of people, if you just want a degree, you can get by minimally, right? You put in minimal effort, you can get by. But it depends on what, as she mentioned, it depends on what else you really, want to achieve, what else you want to get by, right? If you sort of want to go deep dive into a particular hobby or something, you can. If you, want to get a startup going, you can. It's all possible. Right, so it honestly, see, there is no compulsion that you need to do GSOC or ICPC or anything either, right? There's no compulsion you need to do any research if you're a CSE student either, right? So if you just want a degree, you want to get by minimally, you can do so with very minimal effort, right? But if you do want to do different things, it will be a little more effort, right? But that's effort you're bringing on yourself, and I think at the end of the day, it's something that you should do, right? If you want to get better at a sport, go play every day. A lot of people frequent the gym. It's okay, it's stuff that adds to your daily load, but it's for college is not just for academic growth. It's for overall growth, and it should you should hit out all these avenues.
Right. Right, Shraddha, do you want to add something to this?
No, I think they covered it so well. It is true. It's really up to you as to what you want to make of your college life. So you can take that decision for yourself and see where the journey takes you.
Okay, Mukta, this is a question for you. Are the placements of your batch affected due to COVID-19? I mean, are there any offers turned down by companies?
Okay, so I mean, right now I would say it's too early. Companies are still focusing on what they're doing with the internships. Most companies are conducting work from home internships. Regarding placements, there are some companies that have postponed the joining date. There are some which are starting remotely and then they'll do the onboarding later. But I mean, again, just as we are clueless, companies are also clueless as to when things will come back to normal. So nobody has taken their offers back as of yet.
Yeah, so what kind of clubs does IIITH have? All right, Ani, you want to say something about this?
Yeah, sure. I think so. We've got a variety of clubs. I myself was, the quiz club coordinator last year. So I think, you sort of hit across ranks. There is dance, there is music club, which, they perform their own events. College will sponsor some kind of, all musical equipment and all that. In addition to that, there's a debate club. I think Mugdha started a Toastmasters club. And then there's astronomy club. There's also a hiking and trekking club. There's, I think, maybe there's a biking club as well, which I don't know if it's exactly part of the hiking and trekking club, but there is one of those as well. There's a gaming club, wherein which it's just started last year, but it's been pretty active as well. And I think a lot of clubs have continued. And the thing is, a lot of clubs come up and come down based on how much students are involved in them. Right now, I think for IIITs and clubs at IIITs is a pretty good time because there seems to be a lot of activity. And even through the COVID pandemic and all of us being at home, there are a lot of clubs that are working. I know for a fact that the quiz club has been, conducting either weekly or bi-weekly quizzes online. At the dance club, as Shraddha mentioned, they've been doing something as well. I think there was recently a gaming club event as well. So, I think IIITs has a pretty good, club environment. There are a variety of clubs, but I wouldn't say everyone takes part in them, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to whether you want to take part in them or you don't, right? You've got that liberty. So, and if you want to come up and start a new club as well, it's really easy. And I think that's probably the best part of this.
All right. Okay, let's move on. I live really close to the IIITH campus in Gachibowli. Is the campus premises open for visitors to check out the facilities and also have student interactions? I think Shraddha, you'll answer this question.
Yeah, you can visit. In fact, we during the onboarding session, the campus is crawling with parents and families and whatnot, and everybody is looking around, seeing what it is that the campus entails. Of course, if it's not during that specific time, you can always put in a request. You can go to the college talk to the guard, and in a matter of minutes, you'll get permission, and of course you can visit all around. And interacting with students, of course, you can, whoever you see walking around, you can approach them. The IIIT students are very welcoming, and they'll be happy to answer all your questions and interact with you. If anybody would like to add anything.
One thing it's
quickly, okay, I just want to quickly add, it's possible to come on to campus and visit. However, currently there are some restrictions due to COVID. So you could write to the academic counselor. Shraddha can share the email address. You can write to the academic counselor if you want to come and visit, and with some restrictions in place, they will get back to you. So currently it's a little, otherwise we are a welcoming campus, as Shraddha said.
Right. All right, moving on. I'm very much interested in coding and especially curious about artificial intelligence. What I expect from IIIT Hyderabad towards my dream. Okay, I think this is more of a research type question. Ani, you want to take this up?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, we've got some, in terms of courses, we've got some courses. I think for the first 2 years, as in for the first year, you don't really go into artificial intelligence or anything, but you sort of mainly get into the basics of coding, understand and code how to learn how to code different algorithms and sorts. From your second year, you sort of get into all of this. But largely, you know, there are multiple courses that either take you through specific implementation sort of esque fields, right? And there are certain courses that cover under the hood topics. The first course that I think you'll take is an artificial intelligence course in the second year. It's called Data and Artificial Intelligence or something like that. After that, you take Statistical Methods in AI, which is again, you know, a base artificial intelligence course. In addition to this, you can also take courses like more specific courses like NLP or mobile robotics, computer vision, digital image processing, and sorts. There are also deep learning courses. I think there is a course called Deep Learning. So I think as an academic institution, I mean, in our academic program, there are a lot of courses related to artificial intelligence that do come up. In addition to this, I think you do learn a lot more through your either research or your PTP and sorts, or just by working on some assignments, you also have a good hands-on knowledge of different things you're supposed to do.
Yeah, just adding to that, I guess, like in our college, it's not necessary that you only follow the academics that is provided by the college in general. The professors are involved in research that is, not very mainstream, and like it's something that is not like a normal student going, learning just about the academics that is given by the college wouldn't understand exactly. So there are topics like reinforcement learning, which is something which is not taught anywhere, but there are professors which are working on research topics. So like if you are very passionate about learning AI, the professors are excellent, and you can approach them to move forward. Okay. Yeah, just a second. I've been really thinking of going abroad for my MBA program, the student applications of which look beyond just academic achievements. How does IIITH as a college help you get an out of the crowd, not totally academically inclined application? All right, maybe Mugdha, you can take this up.
Okay, so while it is true that IIITH is focused on its academics, if you, as I said earlier, want to build a profile that is that has some interdisciplinary aspects into it, you can do it. So as we said, there are a lot of clubs, there are a lot of voluntary services like we have NSS in our campus. They are very active. And I mean, IIIT Hyderabad is located in the center of Hyderabad. So if you want to go on and do more voluntary services, you can do that. So I mean, these applications look at your voluntary services, your achievements, and your in co-curricular fields. So I mean, in that sense, also it's a good place to be in, because we are our strength is not too big. We are a relatively small college compared to IIT. So what happens here is I mean, for me, for example, founding member of IIITH Toastmasters sounds like a big thing when someone else looks at it. But I know that starting a club in IIIT is not that big a deal. All I had to do was get in touch with the Toastmasters organization in Hyderabad, pitch it to the Student Life Committee faculty, and establish the club, get people interested. Right. So that way, if you look at it, it's very much possible to build your profile in this manner, in these co-curricular fields as well. So, and you have ample of time to do that in your third and fourth year if you are focused in academics in your first and second year. So it's a very supportive environment for that. Of course, you have to get out of your comfort zones a little, because most people are into academics completely, right? So that is one thing you'll have to take care of. If you're, I mean, I'm glad you're thinking about this right from now, so that you can plan your first 2 years and your third and fourth year accordingly.
How is life on campus apart from academics? Is it safe for girls, and are there any curfews? I think Mugdha and Shraddha can answer this very well. So yeah, over to you. Mugdha,
Sure.
maybe you can start.
Yeah. Okay. So about curfews, I mean, that was one thing that was very worrying for my parents as well. Where in most colleges there is a curfew at say 5 p.m., 6 p.m. or 9 p.m. at the very least. But this college does not have any curfew at all. Labs are open throughout the night. And my parents were honestly very worried about this. Even I was a little worried about this, I mean, coming to India for the first time, a new city, all of these concerns. But when I came to college, I realized this difference that, the first thing, as Shraddha said, is we have only one entry point. So you don't have multiple entry points where, that might lead to some sort of unsafe environment. Secondly, it's well within the city. So it's not a college that's very far off. And it's a small community with a lot of guards. So I personally feel it's, we have these assignments whose deadlines are generally at midnight. And after that, I go out for a walk, sometimes alone, sometimes with my friends, and go to the juice canteen, maybe grab a juice or a coffee and come back. So it's open till 2 o'clock at night or in the morning. So I personally never found any issues with safety on campus. Or in fact, it was more conducive to my academics. So, of course, it's an engineering college, so you cannot have a 50-50 girls and boys ratio. So I was in a group of friends where we were 2 girls and 4 or 5 boys. And we would want to study together for the exams, or, prepare together, do our assignments or projects together. So our labs are open throughout the night. So having a curfew would have in fact stopped me from going out and meeting them and working together in the night, right? So not having a curfew in fact helped me. And in these 4 years, I've never seen any issue with safety on campus and even outside campus. I mean, it's very much within the city. There's no road which is lonely outside campus, and it's just about a 1 kilometer radius from campus is a residential area. So I've never found any issues with curfew. In fact, it was very enabling towards me reaching my goals. Yeah. Over to Shraddha. She wants to add.
Yeah, Shraddha, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I just dispel some concerns that parents may have. So the hostels for girls and boys are completely separate, and they're at different ends of the college, if you're concerned about that. And as Mugdha already mentioned, that it's a small campus. It's a 66-acre campus, and there are students constantly everywhere. Wherever you go, you will find someone there. And of course, the guards are well placed, and the campus is also well lit. You will never find a dark alley or a dark road at any point. Moreover, something that I'd like to add is that faculty, wardens, and hostel in charges also live on campus, and many of the times you can find the warden within your hostel itself. So if you have any concerns, you can approach them. In fact, after say 10 p.m. here in Delhi, but on campus, I've never faced that concern.
I think we've lost Shraddha there. Shraddha, I think we lost you there for a few seconds. Maybe you can repeat what you were saying.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Sorry for the technical issue there. I just repeat my points quickly. The faculty, wardens, and hostel in charges all live on campus. So if you have any concerns, they're only a phone call away or a few steps away, and you can always approach them. The campus is very well lit, and there are students strolling across the campus, and you'll never find a dark alley or an empty road. There's always students around you. So safety was never a concern for me. In fact, something that I'd like to share is that I would not feel safe stepping out of my house here in Delhi after 10 p.m. But I've never faced such a concern on campus. And as Mugdha mentioned earlier, that it really enables you because in many of the colleges, you cannot access libraries and other academic facilities past some curfew time, but that restriction is not there in Triple IT. So that really allows you to pursue your work even at late hours, which is something that does become essential in college. So having no curfew doesn't stop learning. Whilst that may be a new concept, but it's something that all of the girls here have experienced and are really appreciative of. Over to you, Devesh.
All right. Okay, we'll take one last question. The question is from Muskan. Is there any girls quota in Triple ITH? I think Shraddha, you'll be able to answer this best.
Yeah, so there is a diversity pool that has been just announced and it will be applicable to the upcoming batch through the JEE mode of admission. So there's no separate channel for this, there's no separate exam that you have to give for this. Diversity pool is part of the JEE mode of admissions. All qualifying women students applying through the JEE mode will automatically be considered for the diversity pool. The application fee for this is ₹500, but that is voluntary. I'll be sharing more details and the email that you can reach out to in case you have any concerns for this. And the reason we do this is we realize that women in technology is a sector that is problematic and there are very few girls that are pursuing this field, and Triple IT wants to change that. It wants to change the thinking that girls do not belong in STEM fields. We are a big advocate of women in tech, and that is why we've put forward this platform so that you can all join us and we can bust these myths and there can be more women in engineering and you can achieve great things. So I'll be linking all the emails for the same, and we have a website also that'll be coming out soon, so you will all receive information for that. And yeah, I do hope you join us to this mode. As I said, Triple IT is the place to be if you want to pursue CS, and this really gives an advantage to girls if they want to pursue this field. So that's something about it. I'll be sharing the link soon. Let me just say it out here. For any queries, you can contact admissions.diversity@tripleit.ac.in. The phone number for the same is 91, that's of course the Indian code, and followed by 86-888-19421.
Yeah, I just want to add. I just want to add this link for the diversity website. It's ugadmissions.tripleit.ac.in/diversity /index.html. So you go to ugadmissions.tripleit.ac.in, you'll see the tab for diversity pool. It has all of this information there, right? Thank all the viewers to come in live, view these questions and ask really wonderful questions. I mean, I'm sure all of us enjoyed answering these questions because they were very personal and they brought out all our wonderful experiences of these 4 years, right? So in case any of your friends have missed this session, you can ask them to have a look at our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, Triple IT's YouTube channel. So this session will be available as a recording in a few days. So you can keep checking, subscribe to the channel and then look at all the videos. Before this, we have had sessions on impact of COVID on Triple ITH or excitement of ECE, right? So after this, we'll be having a session. We'll be having 2 more sessions. So the next session is on June 14th. And, it is titled Life on Triple ITH campus. So today there was a question about, is it only academics and will I be able to do other things here? So maybe you can take a look at this session on June 14th, right? And you can have a look at our social media handles also. We are active on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. on LinkedIn. Yes, so you can have a look at our handle. The IIIT constantly posts about its achievements in the field of research and academics and in other fields. So have a look at that. And we have 2 more sessions, as I said, coming up. So one was live on IIIT campus, and there's one on learning opportunities for undergrads at IIIT. So I'm sure these will be very informative sessions for you, right? So book your Sundays, the next 2 Sundays, and I really hope most of you join us in IIIT and in the batch of 2020. I mean, of course, I won't be there personally, but it'll be very nice to see most of you coming in there and joining us. All right. So with this, let us conclude the session, and thank you for joining. Hope it was helpful. Right. All right. See you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.